Good morning to you all. Shall we begin? So we will continue from where we stopped yesterday. Yesterday we were looking at question number 2A. Question number 2A, directed writing. We have seen some of the features of directed writing and also 2 or 3 instructions to be followed. Today we shall complete that and try to find out how to write an article. That will be the program for today. So what is a directed writing? What is a directed writing? So directed writing is a piece of writing following certain directions or instructions or suggestions. You can say any word, no problem. So it is a piece of writing that follows certain directions or instructions or suggestions. So in the part of the question, whatever directed writing you are going to take up. Yesterday we have seen that directed writings are 8 in number. Altogether there are 8 numbers. So whatever you are going to take up, whether it be an article or a report or a speech, whatever it may be, all the writings, the question will come with certain suggestions or directions or instructions. Therefore, you need to read the instructions first and then you have to write whatever you are asked to. So, directed writing is also a piece of writing. You can say a composition of some length. You have the first question, composition or essay. So, all the points, all the items, all the headings coming under directed writing, all of them are an essay or a composition of some length. So you students should know what is the purpose of directed writing. Only if you know the purpose or goal or what do they expect from you, accordingly you can write well. So what is the purpose of directed writing? So directed writing is a test to check your ability. Test your ability and proficiency as a student to respond to a given task. So what is to test your ability and proficiency in responding appropriately to a given question. They are giving you a question with suggestions. They want to find out how good you are, how able you are. Another word for ability, efficiency or proficiency. So how good are you at handling a given question and give a satisfactory answer? That is the purpose of this directed writing. So through your writings, the way you have written, the way you have expressed yourself, the teacher or the board will grasp how good you are at handling language. Are you feeling at ease? Are you able to express yourself given various situations? Are you able to organize things and write well? That's what they are going to check. So this is a test on language skills. Test on language skills. How skillful are you in handling a given situation? That's what they are going to test. Yesterday we have seen the 8 different topics that appear under the heading direct writing. And yesterday also I pointed out to you certain suggestions or how you should write a direct writing. Directions given should be included. That is what we have seen yesterday. Whatever direction given, it should be included. Supposing that 7 points are there in the direction, 7 points are given, then you must accommodate all the 7. Don't leave out even one. Because if you leave out any of the points, you are going to lose mark. So all should be included. If there are 10 points, normally they don't give. They give around 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. So whatever is given, you should accommodate. First point. Divide them into paragraph. It should comprise of, you can say around 5 paragraphs, 3 to 5. 3 to 5 paragraphs. Minimum 3. There should be at least 3 paragraphs. It will run to even 5 paragraphs in an article, in a report writing, etc. Resume and other things, you need not have too many paragraphs, but in article and report writing, speech writing, you should have. Okay. Then there are few more instructions. That is, organize your thoughts. First and foremost, you need to organize your thoughts. You can write it down. It's there in your book also. Organize your thoughts. What is the meaning of organizing thoughts? What you are going to write? What are the main points you have? What are the side points you are going to have? So you should have a certain idea about it. So you should have certain idea and then you organize them all together. That is the meaning of organize. So organize your thoughts. What to write? How to write? What to write? How to write? Are you going to give some examples? Note it down. Are you going to give a story, a small story, anecdote? Make a mention of it in the rough. Or you want to use a quotation. You are planning to use a quotation, a relevant quotation. Yes. Then you organize like that. First and foremost, read the question, understand it, organize. Then only you write. Then the other 2 points already we are given. Stick to the given points, divide them into paragraphs. Another task you have to do is read the question and underline the key points. Read the question and underline the key points. Take page number 10. Page number 10 in your textbook, Total English. Page number 10. You have direct writing. A model article is given there. Outline. India is a single unit. India is a single unit. Extremes in every sphere. Physical features, climatic conditions, the haves and have-nots. So you need to grasp the question. You need to grasp the question and mark the keywords. What are the keywords here? India is a single unity. So it is unity in diversity. India is a single unit. That is one key point. What is another key point? Extremes in every sphere. And what about all the rest of the points? If you closely watch, you'll understand all the rest of the points are following the second one. India is extremes in every sphere. Extreme means the other end. On one side, it's a single unity. On the other side, plenty of differences. Those differences are in what fields? physical features, the very geographical feature itself is in extreme difference. Climatic conditions, south, north, northeast, in the middle of India. Lot of changes. One side there is ice formation, snowing, the Himalayas, down, people are struggling because it is sweaty, very hot. So extreme climatic conditions. Then the haves and have-nots. These are some of the words you should know. Some of the words you should know. Haves and have-nots. Haves and have-nots. Haves means the rich. Have-nots means the poor. If you do not understand the meaning of that word, then you will be struggling. You will not be able to write a good article or a good essay. So haves and have-nots means poor, rich and poor. The difference between rich and poor is so much, extreme difference. Therefore, the two key points here are India is a single unit, extremes in every sphere, the spheres of physical features, climatic conditions, haves and have-nots. Therefore, we have two key points. Of the two, which is the most important? India is a single unit or extreme in every sphere? Extreme in every sphere is important because under that you have so many headings. That is how you mark the keywords. Once you mark the keywords, you know what to write. So having underlined the keyword, having organized your thoughts what to write, then what you will have to do? When you are writing, you must pay attention to certain things like grammar, grammatical mistakes. Is the question asked singular or plural? Singular or plural? That is, are they asking you to write about one thing or more? Are they asking to give example of something or examples of something? If they're asking for many points, it should be plural. If they're asking for a single thing, it is singular. Like that, you have to look at it. Also, are they asking about the past or present? Suppose there is an article, write an article about the past cultural glory of India. There was a time the culturally India was very rich. Suppose you asked to write an article about the past glory of India. So the question is about past glory means that is gone. You should not speak about the present glory. You should not speak about the future glory. You should concentrate more on the past glory and try to connect it with the present situation and what you expect of it in the future. So, or there is another report. You're asked to write a report about the flood that you witnessed, a flood situation that you witnessed. See, suppose there is a question. You had to write a report. There was a flood, there was heavy rain and waterlogging, and people have been put to difficulty. You are asked to write a report. So, you must write a report which you witnessed. It's already past. Not hooking up story. You are not writing out the future. You are going to write something you have seen. Or you are asked to write an article about a coming up function that you will be attending. You are going to attend a function that is going to come. The future. Then it should be future. So present, past, future. The question is, you are asked, it belongs to which category? You must keep in mind. Then another thing you have to keep in mind is underline the main points. Yesterday I already told you. You are given some points. India is single unit, extreme in every sphere, physical features, climatic conditions, haves and have-nots. Those things you have to underline. If you don't underline, also you'll get marks. What is the difficulty? The teacher has to search and find out whether the student has mentioned all the points. So you will have to read through the entire thing and find out. You are trying to help out the teacher and indirectly you are helping yourself because naturally you'll get better marks. So just underline them. Don't make it too decorative. Just underline the points which are mentioned there. So you have every point they have asked. Suppose they are given in the suggestion 8 points are there. All the 8 points you just underline, so that becomes very easy for the examiner. And you are indirectly helping yourself. Okay. Right. Another instruction given is do not change the content words affecting original meaning. Do not change the content words such a way that it affects the meaning of the question. For example, here there is something called extremes in every sphere. You cannot change the word. Those set of words, you have to keep it as it is. You cannot give another word for it. Physical features. You cannot change physical features and write about geographical features. No. What they are given is physical features. So you stick to that word, physical features. Don't make it geographical features. It's a climatic conditions. Physical features, climatic conditions. You say climate and weather are connected. No. So instead of climatic conditions, I will say weather conditions. No, you should not change. Whatever is given, you keep it. Understood? No? Don't change any of the content words such a way that meaning is lost. Don't do that. Also, you can, when you want to organize writing, director writing, you can ask some of the questions, WH questions. WH questions. For example, you are asked to write a report about a particular event. You can ask the question like when, where, who, whose, why, things like that. That will give you the answer. Suppose you say when was the meeting held, or when is it going to be held? Year, date, time. Where is the meeting being held? It's at Padrona or it's at Gorakhpur. And you ask who are all going to participate? Who is the main speaker? Who are the chief guests? Who are the audience? Who are the distinguished guests? Who? You get so many answers. And you ask why? Very important question. Why is the meeting being held? What is the purpose of the meeting? So that at the end of the meeting, you'll be able to write whether the meeting was a successful one or not. So these WH questions will throw light to find out what to write. If you are struggling with the topic, you don't know what to write, you ask this WH questions like when, where, who, by whom, where, things like that. Okay. And the last instruction is beware of grammar, spelling, and punctuation marks. Beware, that is, be aware of spelling, punctuation, and grammar, spelling, and punctuation mark, because you have negative marking. You have negative marking in this. If you are going to write, make so many mistakes, your marks will be reduced. Therefore, you have to take extreme care not to make mistakes. Okay. These are some of the instructions as regarding any of the director writing. Now we will go to one of the headings, that is the article. Article writing. Yesterday I told you there are 8 headings, and of the 8, is every topic equally important? It should be. It should be. But when you look back into past, look back to the old question papers, you yourself can check it. You will find that more importance is given to article, report writing, and speech writing. Article writing, report writing, and speech writing. These 3 are more important than the rest. It looks, but we are living in modern times. There is a possibility that now you are up to date with whatever is happening, and this is the time the students need to go to applying for a admission for a degree, or you want to take up some studies, or you have to apply for a job. So other things are important, like resume, personal profile, or the statement of purpose. They are more important. We should ask a question from that they can think of. That's why you must have a knowledge of everything, little bit of knowledge of everything. That's enough. Main points we have covered, it's already here. That is how to write a direct writing. What are the points you have to keep in mind? That is important. Then the other ones, simple things, you can just take note of it. Okay. So article writing is important. What is an article? An article, we call it an because it's a vowel sound. An article. What is an article? An article is a piece of writing. A piece of writing on the given topic. A piece of writing on a given topic. So the topic is given to you, and on the topic you are writing something. So it is a piece of writing on a given topic intended for publication. That's important. Intended for publication. So it's a piece of writing on a given topic. It's a piece of writing on a given topic. Intended for publication, or meant, you can say M-E-N-T, meant for publication. You know what is publication? To publish. Publication is to publish somewhere. Where do you publish? It could be in a newspaper, or it could be in a magazine, or it could be a journal. They are all slightly different. You know it. You know what is a newspaper? You know what is a magazine? You know what is a journal? Is different from magazine. Okay. So journals could be of less subscribers for journals. Magazines have more subscribers. Newspaper has the highest number of people reading. The highest number of people reading, that is newspaper. So an article is a piece of writing on the given topic meant for publication in a newspaper, magazine, or a journal. So that should be very clear. You should have clarity about it. Why? Because of all the headings we have, an article is very important because it is meant for publication. It is more an official writing. It is more of an official writing, serious writing. Therefore, if you are asked to write an article, you should be careful. Don't just write whatever comes to your mind. It should be well planned out. So since it's a studied piece of writing, article is a studied one. You need to make study. You may have to go to Google and refer certain things, or you may have to some experience, whatever experience you had in life. So with all that, you have to write the article. So in the process, what are the things happening? You'll be making comparisons, comparing one thing with another, depending on the topic, comparing or contrasting. And then you will need to have information. It's informative. An article is informative, giving lot of information. Therefore, you should refer to the past. What was the past? What is the present situation? And what do you expect to happen in the future? For example, if I speak in the air, you will not understand. I'll give you a concrete example. You are asked to write an article on the havoc that the pandemic brings. Write an article on the havoc, HAVOC. Havoc means destruction that a pandemic brings. Write an article on the havoc that the pandemic brings. Suppose this is a question. What is the destruction? The way how a pandemic destroys. So how do you go to past? You should give reference to past. In the non-history, what were the main pandemics that took place? Like Black Plague in France. You should have some knowledge of certain things. And what were the major deaths that caused by pandemic in the past? The present, what are the destruction done by the pandemic? In the future, what kind of destruction is going to take place? You must also specify destruction not only of human beings, of animals, of plants, species. See, different areas. How it is going to affect positively the species. You know that after Corona started, so many things got revived. Many extinct beings have come back. So many plants which are about to die, they have been saved. So many animals which are about to be extinct, about to come to an end, they have survived. So these are all positive effects. Similarly, you have also negative impacts of a pandemic. All these things should be taken into consideration. So that is how you write an article. So that is about the past, present, and future. And there will be also assessments and calculations. Assessment and calculation. That is, if you are writing about pandemic, you should give certain figure. How many, the number of people who have been affected by Corona, the number of deaths that took place. Also, you can make a state-wise which side of the country you had more cases. So, certain assessments. Somebody, please unmute yourself. Somebody, yes. Amber Kohli. Please mute yourself. Thank you. So you may be, if you can use certain diagrams or tables, some figures means these numbers. How many people have been affected, how many people died, things like that. So facts, figures, some maps, if you can, or some diagrams, a tablet, some tables, some graphs. These days, graphs are very common. You often see in if you go to Times of India site, or you read a newspaper or some magazines, everywhere you'll find graphs. So you have very simple graphs like here. Then you give the number of the years. So suppose you say before 2000, before 2000, what were the number of the effect of a pandemic before 2000? So you can give a figure, whatever it may be, like that. Some. Then now after 2000, let's say from 2000 to 2000, let's put 2018. What was the effect? And 2019 onwards, you have so much. And just telling you this kind of graphs, very simple graphs, but that can fetch you mark depending on the article. It's only in article writing, because it is a serious piece of writing meant for publication. Other ones like report writing, personal profile, there you don't use this kind of tables, diagrams, graphs are not needed. But here it will be recommended, because it is a formal writing. An article is more of a formal writing, not informal. Okay. Now, what are this is how to write an article. Now, what all things should be there? Titles, or what are the partition you should make when you write an article. One is heading. You should have a heading. Heading that is very attractive. Very attractive. You can say catchy, C-A-T-C-H-Y, catchy or attractive. You must have seen some articles in the newspaper and the magazines. The title given is so capturing, so captivating, that you are thrilled. You feel like reading. You feel like having a look. So that is the meaning of having a captivating, a catchy or attractive heading. That's the first thing. Then you should have an introduction. What do you write in introduction? It mainly will answer these two questions: what and why. What you are writing, why you are writing. Very simple. Introduction will tell you what you are writing, why you are writing. So the question, based on the same question you are writing, you will be just mentioning what you are writing, the article about what, and why, the purpose of writing this article. That is introduction. Then you have the main body. Third one is main body. The body of the article, main body of the article. In main body, what you will have? You will have some 2 to 5 points. 2 to 5 points you'll have. You'll have to develop. First, that is in the organizing itself. In organizing itself, you are planning out what are the things to mention. So those points, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 5 enough, 5 points enough. Those points you must bring it in the body. Take each topic and then elaborate it or develop it. So an introduction, then a body which consists of few important points developed. The heading of the point, heading of the topic, you can underline. Then you develop it. Then take next topic, develop it. There are points contributing towards your article. Your main topic is there. You are taking side headings from 2 to 5. That will be the body of the article. Then you have a conclusion. Then you have a conclusion. What is the conclusion? So you can have different things in a conclusion. What all things you can have in a conclusion is a summary. A summary of the article. In gist, what you are in gist. So the conclusion will be a few sentences only. Let's say 4, 3, 4, 5 maximum. Even 3 enough, or even 2 enough. So 3 to 5 sentences, that's all. So you will be giving a summary of what you have written, summary of the article. You can give the final opinion. I think it is not seen. I'll just bring it up. So it's a conclusion. In conclusion, you should have one thing is summary. SUMMAR by summary. So these are some of the things you could include. I am saying your final opinion. Final opinion. What is your opinion about this topic? Recommendations. You are recommending recommendations, suggestions, like that. So these are the things you can include in the conclusion. Conclusion is, I said, 3 to 5 sentences enough. So in the conclusion, you will include a summary of the article. Gist, in gist what it is. Then your final opinion. So these are the things I have presented. This is what I would suggest. Final opinion. That is suggestions, recommendations, or your final opinion. That's all. That is about writing an article. So this will be little difficult. An article is little difficult because it's an official one and it's meant for publication. Therefore, you need to work a little hard, and students who have a lot of exposure in reading, writing, experiences, and if they are able to express well, they will write good articles. Other topics will take it up tomorrow onwards. They will not be as tough as this one. This is little difficult. So that's why we have done the first one, little difficult one.